I got divorced over Yu-Gi-Oh! This is gonna be the saddest or the most funniest story. Let's take a look.
I need to say this. Let me just say it straight out the way. I am no longer married, and I'm divorced.
Damn. That sucks. This guy has a really nice couch. He's a man of God. He has like pretty good, clean clothes. He's living in a pretty decent house, it looks like. And it's like, damn, you play Yu-Gi-Oh? You look like such a good dude, but you play Yu-Gi-Oh?
This is not what this video is about, but there's something that you guys need to know. When I met this woman, and I told her about my Yu-Gi-Oh stuff.
Well, I mean, at least she married you, right?
She hated it. She didn't like it. She said that, hey, you could do something better with your life. You should.
Damn. That's already a huge red flag, right? That's a huge red flag. I don't really know how you can resign yourself or think like, oh yeah, for sure I could marry someone like that. I guess probably like for him, I would say he's somewhat attractive and probably pulled like someone that was somewhat attractive to maybe very attractive, right? Very good. And I guess maybe that's where people kind of like prioritize. Maybe. I don't know.
Go back to school.
I thought even if the girl I was into was really hot, if the person couldn't sort of I guess accept the fact that I have hobbies that they're just not going to be into, maybe make fun or ridicule it, right? It just doesn't, it's just so incongruent with my sort of lifestyle. And it's just like, I can't really see myself ever being happy with that type of person. Maybe he thought like, oh, like maybe down the line, I'd maybe like convince them or like change their thoughts or opinion. That's never happening. I feel like that's definitely just never happening. I feel like if someone is just like so comfortable saying like, oh, I think the shit you're into is kind of suck, kind of stinky doo doo. I feel like that's a huge red flag. And it's also a huge red flag that they ended up trying to get married while having that as like an objection.
So you know what I did back in 2016?
I married
17,
her.
16? I said, you know what? Maybe she's right. And you know what I did? I sold all my equipment. I sold my YouTube channel. I sold all my camera stuff. I'm like, you know what? Maybe it is time to move on. Maybe it's time for me to do something better with my life.
Yeah, fuck that shit. Holy shit. You drank the Kool-Aid on that. Oh my god. That sucks so much. It just doesn't make any sense. I'd rather not like participate. Personally. I'd rather just not partake.
Knowing that at that time, what I had was very special. At that time, something that I chose to do, YouTube, I had something going on. Even though I had some drama and stuff going on before and I shut down my channel a few times, I had something that I completely gave up. I gave it up because someone said, hey, you know what? Maybe it is time to move on.
Yeah, fuck them, dude. Honestly, fuck them. I'm sorry, but like, I don't know. It's just like, it doesn't make any sense to commit yourself to someone that's just so incompatible with, I guess, who you are as a person. They trash you. They trash your hobby. They have no respect for you. That's the bottom line. They don't have any respect for you. Like, even if they're not into, like, even if a girl's not into what you're doing, they can at least have the respect to say like, oh, okay, you have your own thing that you really like, and that's fine, you know? Because for sure, the girl probably has plenty of things that they really like that I would never understand or get into. Newsflash, men and women are different.
You got to do something better with your life. There's got to be something more for your life. And I sold all my stuff.
Damn.
For a woman. And she's no longer here. And this problem persists. She told me at that time, hey, you want to meet my mother? You need a car. Because I didn't have a car at the time. I was doing YouTube. I was working from home. I didn't need to drive anywhere. Yes, YouTube is what I did for a living. It's how I paid my bills. And I was street performing also.
The girl you're into should at least be into you. And it should at least respect you enough to be like, okay, you got the things that you like, and I got the things that I like, and they are two separate things. And you choosing to like something like Yu-Gi-Oh, Beyblade, Pokemon, whatever the fuck, doesn't make you any less of a man than, you know, the other Joe down the road.
How did I street perform? I just catch the bus 20 minutes down the street, played my horn, went home. I never needed a car.
Yeah.
But when I met this woman, you have to go back to school. You have to exercise. You have to get your degree. You have to do something better with your life. Even though
I feel like these things are things that maybe you should motivate yourself into doing for it to be worth it. For it to become as a demand from someone else, I feel like is a huge red flag.
I explained to her, this is what I chose to do. A woman comes in your life and try to tell you the plan that you chose for your life is wrong.
Well, you let her into your life, right? I mean, that is what it is.
And out of love, I choose to say, you know what? Maybe she's right. And I took a chance. I took a chance.
Yep.
I said, you know what? I'm going to give this up completely. Like, for good.
Mistake.
Sold the channel to
Skill
Java.
issue.
Sold all my stuff. Tried to go back to school multiple times. There's some... I don't want to say that I can't finish school. But it certainly feels like I can't. I don't know what it is.
It just feels like a dumb waste of your time if you have a channel sitting on 100K subscribers, you have traction, you have growth, right? You're already making money. Why the fuck would you want to go to school? You're clearly pretty qualified into like doing this, right? 100K subscribers is definitely like no small feat. You're pretty qualified and skilled enough to do this. Why the fuck would you take out loans, go into debt to go to school, to get a degree, to pursue a job and a career path that you're just not into? And for money that's probably not all that much better, honestly speaking. And to pay off the debt is not, it's going to take a while. You have to be committed to that idea, that sort of career trajectory in order for it to pay off well. You would have to be committed to that career trajectory spiritually. Like your own goal has to align with it. If it's not, then you're never, ever going to finish school, right? You'll never do it because it just doesn't come from that. The drive to like finish your degree and pursue that career path will not come out of just like thin air.
And every time I talk to people, they just think that everything I say is just an excuse. You are a grown man. You are an adult. You can do it. It's like,
fuck it, man, play Yu-Gi-Oh.
No one can see it from my perspective. It's like I am always wrong. When I study,
fuck 'em.
What I do? I fall asleep. What do they say? Hey, you're lazy. You're procrastinating.
He probably has like ADHD. I definitely understand. I'm not diagnosed, but at least from what I hear, a lot of people who fall asleep, who get like sort of just like not fatigued, but like there's not a lot of feedback, and so it's kind of like a withdrawal, and your attention like dramatically decreases. That's why like a lot of people when they try to read, a lot of people with ADHD anyway, when they try to read, they have to like go back and read the sentence, It kind of feels like they're on like this weird treadmill or hamster wheel. I feel like that sort of mentality, that sort of behavior is very common in creators, like people who do YouTube. And a lot of them look for instant gratification. They look for things that sort of drive that dopamine rush and keep it going. This is also common in people who like card games or just like games in general, right? They're looking for that, the sort of, how would you say it? The dopamine intake to not drop off. So yeah, the slower learning and sort of resigning yourself to school and studying, it doesn't fit everyone. And I feel like the only way to kind of get around that is by taking meds, which is its own whole other ordeal. They are supposed to be incredibly effective.
Choosing not to do this. And I'm like, that's got to be something wrong with me. When it comes to school, studying, and staying on task and staying focused, I just can't do it.
Sure.
And I try, and I go back to school, and I pay all this money, and I pay all this money, and I pay all this money, and I fail, and I fail, and I fail, and I fail.
Damn, dude.
Music has always been there for me, and
I can't focus at all when I read. My mind is always racing. Yeah, I don't know. This is only stuff that I've heard. I will say this. I want to get myself checked out and see if I am diagnosed with ADHD, because like that's just something I've always had growing up. From what I hear of other people who've had ADHD and what kind of a life changer meds were for them, I think like the biggest example obviously is I watch a lot of Destiny. I think he talks about Vyvanse a lot and how he had ADHD, and how he described it is like it's a huge like learning impairment. It's hard to focus on these sort of long drawn out tasks and to kind of keep yourself on track to get to that end goal, right? Like reading a book, right? Reading a book, for example. And so there are medications that basically make it much easier to kind of focus on these things and not have this like constant need and hunger for stimulation and dopamine and getting burnt out as a result of it.
Been great at it. People say that, hey, they try to test me. They say, hey, you know music, right? You know this person? No. Do you know this person? No. You know this person? No. Well, how are you a musician? I also get people say to me, hey, what key is this in? I say, I don't know. Like, well, they say, well, how are you playing? How are you a musician? How do you play so well? I am not the type of person who is book smart or knowledgeable. I don't know things, but I know how to do things. I know how to do things physically in a creative way. I'm not the type of person who retains things and hold on to things, who can read a book and then take a test, pass it, and go on. Yeah. That's not me. I am a creative-minded person. Anything that involves creativity, I can do, at least to some degree, where people are like, wow, you do it so well. You ever thought about going to school? No, I tried. It doesn't work. So, this is all tying together. I
feel like these kind of stories are so sad because it's like, I think why, at least me, or at least from my experience, why we listen to some of the people that are in our ears and like kind of telling us, why are you this way? Why are you this way? Why aren't you this way or that way? It's all coming from a perspective. Usually it's like close friends or family members, right? Most likely family members, right? Your parents, your peers, your cousins, your brothers, your sisters, and from the people you love the most, right? That this is where like a lot of these kind of criticisms come from, and that's why people like take it so seriously. And I feel like that's always like sad, especially when someone like him would have to kind of suffer the, I guess, consequence of putting so much faith and trust in them when in reality they just don't understand where you're coming from or how different you are from them. A lot of people like to say like, oh, this is how it works for me, it should work like that for you, but it's just, people are built different.
The parents, they ask me, hey, what do you do for a living? I had to tell them I am a musician. I couldn't tell them I was a street musician. I am a musician. Then they said, hey, you have a degree? I said, I don't have a degree. My ex-wife parents did not speak to me for 2 years and told her not to marry me because I don't have a degree. What sense does that make? So I give up this YouTube thing. I give up my entrepreneur thing. I try to do something that's not innately a part of my strengths at all.
Well, to be fair, you probably didn't know to what extent it wasn't your strength. And that's just something you would have to learn from experience. It's just like you would have to go through that.
Because I'm thinking I'm in love to do something for somebody to prove
But maybe he did.
something.
I don't know. If he did and he like did it anyway, I feel like that's kind of silly.
And this continues on through the marriage. She says, hey, you need to find a hobby. I'm like, oh.
Oh, I had a hobby. Wait, I had one. It's like, what about Yu-Gi-Oh? What about YouTube? I literally had a hobby.
Let me play Yu-Gi-Oh again. So, last December, last year, I start my channel up again. I buy my channel back from Java. Like, oh, she gave me the okay to go into a hobby.
Nice.
You know what she said? You're spending too much time playing those cards. It's either the cards or me. She literally said that. I'm like, you just said I need a hobby. I get into a hobby, and now you said I'm doing it too much. What is it? What do I do?
Yeah, there's no reasoning with a crazy person.
She says, why are you into those cards so much? I said, hey, I need to make a video about something. And I haven't played this card game for 2 years. On and off. How can I make a video for my subscribers about something I have no knowledge of? And I try to explain it to her, but she don't get it. She thinks it's just cards you pick up and you just play like Uno. It's not that way. Every 3 months, a new set come out, new stuff come out. I can't make a video about something if I don't know what it's about. I can't start my channel back up and just start making videos. I have to be in it.
Yep.
I have to learn about it and learn what's going on.
Nah, but they're just cards, man. It's like Big Two, man. It's just like Uno, man. You just Google the rules and you just do it, man. It's easy. Come on.
So she hated those cards. She literally cried because of those cards. And people say, hey, priorities, man. It's your wife, or you got to do what you got to do. But then I'll be back at that point where I'm giving up things that I like, things that's a part of my life for someone else to feel happy. And I feel miserable in the process. I'm sitting there.
Yeah, because you're doing something for someone that doesn't love you. You're doing it for someone who doesn't have any respect for you whatsoever, which is it's a miserable way of living.
They're watching all these YouTubers come out and make videos and do all this stuff. They're traveling. I'm like, that's what I used to do. I love that. I miss that. Why can't she come along with my journey instead of scrutinizing me? And then that's money gone from me.
Because she is ultimately selfish. She wants her way or the highway. She wants to emotionally hold you hostage to comply with her needs, her wants. Anyone who's like listening to him can sympathize with his story and can understand a little bit of what he's like going through. I don't think I'm wrong though. I don't think I'm wrong at all.
It's not about the money, but that was money gone from me.
Yeah.
Then street performing. I said to her, hey, I don't want to move away from Baltimore. You may be thinking, why? That's where my home base is. My gigs, my performances, everything. Keep in mind, I didn't have a job.
Yeah, she must have been hot.
Like, when I say I don't have a job, like a real job. A real job is, going in 9 to 5. I didn't have a real job for over 10 years.
401k.
It was YouTube and playing my horn. That's how I paid all my bills. So when we got married and we moved out to Baltimore to somewhere else that I didn't want to be, she said, hey, how come you're not paying the bills? And I was like, what? I have a job. I have a 9 to 5 job. I don't make enough from this 9 to 5 job to pay all these bills.
What do you mean?
Before then, I could.
You gotta go to
street
school.
Performing in YouTube. I made enough money off of that to pay the bills. Now I'm working 9 to 5 all day long, and that's not a complaint because there are people who do that. But I had something that most people wish they had.
Yep.
Most people wish they can go out,
Hell
make
yeah,
some
dude. I
money,
wish I
pay
had
their
a
bills,
hundred
and have
100,000 subscribers. That's good. That's some good shit. That's crazy.
all day off. That was a gift. That was something. That was something that I had.
Bro,
Now
she must have been like super hot.
you can take this video as me complaining, crying, I messed up. It is all of that. It is true. I am
Yeah.
complaining. I am hurt. I made some mistakes. I did some dumb things. And you're right. It is my fault. I chose to sell my channel. I chose to give up this thing, not realizing, say, you know what? This is my YouTube channel. This is my life. You can't come into my life and dictate to me and tell me what's better for me because you don't see it from my perspective.
Hey, it takes
And then get
a
mad at
hell of a
me
man to accept it though,
when I
right?
lose all of those things that I can't do, and I can't do what you think I should do. I've never been that way.
It's so dumb too. It's like obviously the discussion had to have come where like, oh, like I'm making X amount of money doing my YouTube stuff, doing my street performances, blah blah blah, and like this is something sustainable, this is nice, and you know, it can allow us to live sort of comfortably, and it's just like, no, I don't like it because societal cultural viewpoints because it's not congruent with what most people think, and it's just
It's like you're trying to tell me to walk or run a lap or a race with no legs. You're trying to tell me to do something that I innately just cannot do. And when I say I can't do that, it's just an excuse. So,
hey, good for him.
I'm moving out. In 2 weeks, I'll be moving out. I'll have my own place again. I'm starting over, starting my life over.
She was emotionally holding him hostage. It's her way or the highway, right? She wasn't trying to connect. It wasn't really about him trying to connect. He was trying to comply. He was trying to submit. He was trying to do things, all the things, sacrifice pieces of himself for the sake of this love. And it's not simply like time. It's not simply just like, okay, I'm going to spend some time with you. I'm going to spend some time getting to understand you, getting to know you, connecting with you. No, it's not just that. It's literally pieces of his life that he is cutting away in order to conform to this weird view that she has of what an ideal life, what she deserves out of her life.
And you guys know I couldn't make videos when in the house. The only time I can make YouTube videos is when she's gone.
Yeah, fuck
And
that.
you might be thinking, well, why is that? She would come in here from her room and say, hey, you're too loud. Hey, I'm trying to read. I'm like, wait, what? I gotta talk. I gotta make a video.
Oh yeah, dude. This is she's like the mega bitch. She's like the crazy mega bitch. She can't stand that, dude. She can't stand it. She's a miserable human being. Like this person is just like it's a cancer. A miserable human who cannot fathom this other person living a life for themselves, for their own purposes, which is so crazy. Actually insane.
I'm disturbing her.
And you know for sure, like 100% sure he wasn't really disturbing her that much. Like, oh, you're too loud. Well, she probably could have just went downstairs. She could have went to the living room. She could have went to, a different space in the house. Come on, like this couch, I don't know. It looks like a nice place. Like the way he's dressed, it looks like a nice place. It looks like it probably has some square footage. She could have went to the kitchen. She could have went to the living room. She could have went to the master bedroom. She could have went to a guest room, whatever. She could have found a different place to enjoy whatever the fuck she was doing, right? But she'll just say, you're too loud, because she just doesn't want him to have something else other than her.
And yes, I'm venting and I'm ranting. If you stayed this long, thank you. If you didn't, it's okay. But I needed to get this off my chest because it was brewing. I am
Yeah.
deeply hurt. And I hurt myself. I don't blame her at all.
Oh,
Everything that
what?
I've chosen to do.
Well, oh yeah. He definitely signed up for it. He signed up for it. He put himself in it. He was definitely the one to give it up. Ultimately, it is his own decision to succumb to the pressures.
It's because I wanted to do it.
Yep.
I wanted to make someone happy.
Oh.
I wanted to
Sag.
I thought I can be that person for someone else, and I thought I can do it. I thought I can get away from YouTube and Yu-Gi-Oh! And Street Performer. I thought I can go back to school and pass and get a real job and make some good money.
The thing is, he probably could, but I feel like these type of relationships, love, it's a two-way street. You can only give and give and give, but you can't. It's not sustainable if you don't take anything, right? If you're not being given anything in return, it's just you can't. It can't just go one way.
To pay all my bills. I thought I could be that man who could do those things.
When it comes to relationships, when it comes to like love or whatever, I do think that there is a viable path building a life that's not necessarily just your own, but a shared life with someone else, and to build this different identity that comprises of two persons. I do think that is a viable path, right, in this type of relationship. But that path it takes two to tango. You can't just give, and not have anything in return, or the other person just kind of sitting on their ass, not doing shit. You know what I mean? You can't. That's not sustainable. Then it's just him the one that's only giving. It's him the only one that is building.
But the truth is, I have special gifts and talents that
True.
other people wish they had to be able to pay and make money and do things in ways people wish they could. It's ironic, isn't it? It's ironic that I wish that I can go to school and work a 9-to-5 job all day long and pay all my bills. It's ironic that I want to do what people hate to do.
I don't think he wants to do those things. I don't know. Maybe I don't know the guy, right? I think what he wants, what a lot of people want, is someone to love them the way he is willing to love someone else. I think people want someone to accept them, love them, and give up pieces of themselves for this different identity, this new sort of pact, this relationship, and work together to build something. I feel like he wanted someone else to be there with him to build that thing. And obviously the person he found was not really into that.
They hate to go in and live a mundane life. They hate that. And they want to have the.
He didn't want a mundane life. He didn't want a 9 to 5. He didn't want to do all those things. He wanted someone to love him the way he was willing to love someone else. I think I 100% believe that.
They have their own business. They want to make their own money. They want to have their free time. I had that. Literally, I would work 3 days, 3 hours a day, and have enough at the end of the month to pay all my bills and do whatever I need and travel.
Damn.
But that wasn't good enough for the person I was with. It wasn't secured enough. What if you didn't make enough was the question. What about medical bills? What about this? What about that? What about retirement? What about all the stuff? So, I truly want to do YouTube full time. Not for a living. Yes, money comes along with it. And yes, my channel is dead. But I'll do it as a hobby because I like doing it and I can't give it up. I've made a video about not giving up before. I said I would never give up. I just can't. I enjoy making videos. I enjoy playing Yu-Gi-Oh. I enjoy being with my friends and doing
There wasn't that much Yu-Gi-Oh in this video, but this was a great video either way.
those things, even at this age, even 15 years later. I'm done. Thanks for watching. You can leave a comment. Tell me. I will. I'm stuttering. If you guys did not know, I have a speech impediment. Some of you guys say, hey, why you stutter? Why you sound like Bill Cosby? I have a speech impediment. I never told you guys that. Just realized that. Wow. All right. I'm gone.
Hell yeah. Holy shit, dude. What a great video. What a great, just like his story, and just a great video. The story of his relationship, what he was willing to do, what happened, this crazy ass woman, and I don't know, his ability to tell it so eloquently. Very, very good. I definitely, hell yeah, this is a great video. This is so good. I liked it a lot. I don't know, some of my comments maybe seem off base, maybe you know, it doesn't make a lot of sense, or you guys might think that it's way off, or I don't know. If you think I'm right, let me know in the comments below. I'm actually really curious, because I feel like that's I don't know. I feel personally that I'm right about it. Obviously, that's my opinion, in that he just wanted someone to love him and, you know, be willing to put as much as he's willing to put into building something new, into building something shared between him and obviously the other loved one.